She's an idiot as always. That's what my mom wrote. In the family group chat.
About me.
I was scrolling through old messages, trying to double-check the menu for Easter. I'd already placed the bakery order, booked the catering, prepaid the chairs, and the tent. That's when I saw it. Mom, holiday Parasite.
Dad. Ad haha.
Mom, she is an idiot as always. I stared at it. It wasn't even hidden. Just there. They didn't know I was still in the thread. Didn't realize the new iMessage update lets you view deleted messages. Or maybe they just didn't care. I didn't cry. Not right away. Because shock always comes dressed as silence. I'd spent years funding Easter. Every year. Every ham. Every chair rental. Every last minute we forgot dessert. Not once did they ask if I could afford it. They just assumed I could. Assumed I would. And I did. Because I thought love was something you proved with receipts. But that night, I canceled every single payment. The bakery. The tent. The florist.
Gone.
And then I did something I'd never done. I took screenshots of every invoice I'd paid for the last 5 years. Labeled, totaled, and dropped them in the group chat. Then I wrote one line. Your Parasite just backed out. Good luck hosting. And I left the chat. No rage. No threats. Just a clean exit. My name is Tessa Rowe. I'm 32. And if you think you know how this ends, stay tuned. Because the moment they treated my effort like entitlement, they lost something they never knew how to hold. By sunrise, my phone had exploded. 8 missed calls from Mom. 3 from Dad. 1 from my cousin Lena, with a text that just said, "Are you okay?" Group chat's a disaster. I didn't answer any of them. Instead, I brewed my coffee slow, stood by the window, and let the silence fill the space where their guilt was supposed to live. Around 10 a.m., the calls stopped, replaced by messages. Half apologies, half blame. We didn't mean it like that. You know how we joke. Why would you take it so personally? But here's the thing. I had taken everything personally for years. Every forgotten birthday. Every backhanded compliment. Every time Mom said, "At least your brother makes us laugh." Every time I paid without being thanked, and was still called dramatic if I asked for fairness. I wasn't the favorite. I was the function, the planner, the wallet, the quiet fixer. And now that the function had shut down, they didn't know how to handle the silence. By noon, my brother messaged, "Nice tantrum. You ruined Easter." I stared at the words, then smiled, because what they called a tantrum was actually a boundary, one I should have drawn years ago. I replied with a screenshot, the one where Mom called me a parasite, then added one line, "You don't get to eat what you mock." I blocked him, and just like that, Easter became the first holiday I spent with peace. Not people who confused love with leverage. That weekend, the family group chat rebranded itself. They removed my name, renamed it Just Us, and posted selfies from a last-minute backyard Easter setup, folding chairs, plastic tablecloths, and a grocery store cake with the frosting already melting. Mom posted a photo with a caption, "Even without certain people, family shows up. Red heart, #blessed. It got 3 likes. 2 from people I didn't even recognize. Lena sent me a screenshot with the message. They're pretending it's fine, but it's a mess. I didn't ask for details.
Didn't need the play-by-play.
Because I'd spent so long behind the scenes, making sure everything looked picture perfect, that I knew the cracks by heart. They didn't know how to order catering without me. Didn't know the tent vendor required a deposit. Didn't realize the chairs had to be reserved weeks in advance. They didn't plan the day. They reacted to the absence. And it showed. That afternoon, I took myself to brunch. Alone. Sunny patio. Fresh mimosa. No one asking me to split a bill I already paid. I watched kids run past in pastel dresses. Smiled at strangers. Tipped extra. It wasn't extravagant. It was quiet. And full. I posted one photo. Just my plate, my hand holding a fork, and the caption, "Sometimes peace looks like absence." No tags. No shade. Just truth. They could spin it however they wanted. But deep down they all knew, when the planner leaves, the whole illusion shatters. And I didn't just walk away from a holiday. I walked away from a job I was never paid for, and love I was always expected to earn. By Monday, the narrative shifted. Now I wasn't just too sensitive. I was selfish, ungrateful, the one who held a grudge over a joke. They told everyone I made Easter about money. Funny, considering they never noticed it was about money.
Mine.
Every receipt I dropped in the chat had gone unanswered. Every year, they thanked my brother for coordinating everything, while I paid deposits behind the scenes, and got told I was controlling for asking who was bringing napkins. This time, I let them tell their version. I didn't argue, didn't defend, because I'd finally learned people committed to misunderstanding you will never hear the truth. But people watching closely, they already saw it. Lena sent me another text. Aunt May called Mom out. Said it was low to mock you in the chat. Mom denied it. I sent her the screenshot.
I didn't ask what happened next, but I imagined it.
The panic, the scramble, the realization that what they whispered wasn't just heard. It was documented. I updated a folder on my computer. When they pretend it didn't happen. Inside it, screenshots, receipts, bank statements. Proof that memory isn't petty, it's protective. They wanted me to come back, to be the bigger person. But forgiveness isn't owed just because blood says so. Sometimes the only apology you'll ever get is the silence that follows exposure. And I was finally okay with that. Because I hadn't lost a family. I'd stepped out of an unpaid role and into my own peace. By midweek, the calls began. Dad first. His voice awkward, overly casual. Hey, just checking in.
Hope you're okay.
Your mom's been upset. You know how she gets. Then a pause, waiting for me to fill the silence. I didn't. He cleared his throat. She didn't mean it. Things were said in frustration. Let's just move past it. But moving past was always their code. For me letting it go. For me forgetting. For me pretending it never happened. I ended the call with one word. Noted. Then I blocked the number. 2 hours later, a message from my cousin. Aunt Jenna says your mom's not eating. Says you broke her heart. No one mentioned the text. The word, parasite. The years I gave. The sacrifices I made that were never acknowledged. Because when the scapegoat steps off the stage, the entire performance unravels. Lena texted again. They're panicking. Group chat went silent. They're afraid of what you'll post next. I hadn't planned on posting more. But that message made me realize something.
They weren't sorry. They were scared. Not of losing me,
but of losing the version of me who kept quiet to keep the peace. So I posted a story. A screenshot of my Easter expenses over the last 5 years. $1,200 here, $800 there. No names. Just a caption. Ask who paid. Ask who planned. Ask who called me a parasite. No response. Just silence. The kind that follows. A truth too loud to ignore. The silence didn't last long. By Friday, the group chat pinged again. This time from Mom. We all say things we don't mean. You've embarrassed the entire family. Are you proud of that? No apology. Just blame, disguised as concern. I read it twice. Then closed my phone. Because here's the truth they never wanted to face. I wasn't trying to embarrass them. I was trying to exist without being mocked, used, or erased. For years, I did everything they never saw. And everything they did see, they twisted. If I brought food, I was trying to show off. If I asked for help, I was too emotional. I went back through my photos that night. There I was, setting up folding chairs, holding trays of deviled eggs, filling plastic eggs with candy while kids screamed and laughed around me, smiling in every single photo. But I could see it now. That smile was made of survival. Lena messaged again. I think they're starting to realize. You always made the holidays happen. You were the glue. And now it's cracked.
Good.
Let it break. Let them feel the weight of their own words in the space I once filled. Because I wasn't going to stitch myself back together. just so they could tear me open again next year. This time I was done. Not in anger, not in bitterness, just in peace. And peace, when it arrives, doesn't knock. It walks right in and locks the door behind it. Saturday morning, my doorbell rang.
Twice.
Then a pause. Then again. Longer, louder. I peeked through the side window. Dad, holding a plastic grocery bag, shoulders hunched like a boy in trouble. I didn't open the door. Instead, I answered through the intercom. Yes. He flinched at the sound. It's just me. Brought your favorite cake from that place near the library. Thought we could talk. I almost laughed. Not at the cake, but at the sheer audacity. Dad, who once told me I overdramatize everything, was now standing in the rain, offering sugar to erase scars. Why now? I asked. He blinked. Because you matter. Your mom, she's not good with words. I let silence hang there. Not good with words, but somehow perfectly fluent in insults, labels, and digital betrayal. You can leave the cake, I said finally, but I won't open the door. He nodded slowly, setting the bag down. Okay, I get it, I think. As he turned, I saw it. The confusion. The dawning understanding that I was no longer the family doormat. I was the boundary. Inside, Lena texted me. You good? I replied with a picture. The cake sitting untouched on my porch. Rain beginning to the box. Captioned simply, some things can't be sweetened. And for the first time in years, my chest felt light. Not because anything was fixed, but because I wasn't carrying it anymore. Easter morning came. No group chat messages. No calls. No guilt-laced reminders. Just quiet. A rare, golden kind. I brewed coffee slowly, letting the steam rise like a ceremony. No deviled eggs. No baskets. No family duty. Instead, I walked barefoot across the grass in my backyard, spread a blanket, and opened my journal. There, in ink, I wrote the truth I'd always danced around. I was never the parasite. I was the host. And now I've stopped feeding what only drained me. At noon, I posted a single image online. A photo collage. 10 years of Easter tables. Dozens of receipts. Me holding babies. Me serving food. Me smiling. Me cleaning. Me always showing up. Caption. She wasn't the holiday parasite. She was the unpaid event planner, therapist, gift buyer, emotional buffer, peacekeeper, and cleanup crew. She left. You're on your own now. I turned off notifications and turned on music. By sunset, I danced alone in my kitchen. No noise, no shame, no performance. Just freedom. Later, I got one last text from Lena. They're scrambling.
Can't find the plastic eggs.
Can't even find matching chairs. I smiled, because that was the revenge. Not bitterness. Not exposure. Just letting them taste what it feels like when the one you called a burden was actually the backbone. And now that spine had walked away. Straight, tall, and never looking back.